morning and welcome to In the Kitchen with Ashley. I'm here with Kelly Lake. Good morning.
Good morning.
So Kelly, what are we making today?
Well, I thought for Easter weekend coming up, what better way to make sure that you're ready, no one goes hungry in the morning, than preparing a quiche. Quiches are great. A lot of people have the classic version that has a lot of ham and it can be very salty. So I thought I would come with a little bit more of a healthier version using fresh mushroom, kale, peas, and to give it some extra oomph of flavor, some feta cheese.
Perfect, let's get started.
Okay, so the first thing, you just want to take a little baby bella or porcini mushroom and remove the stem. So you just do that by pop it out, and then pull. It should be completely removed, but if there's any of that woody stem in there, just peel it out with your fingertip. Okay, and then put it down once you've got it. Okay, yep. Good. Put it down, and then you want them to not be big chunks of mushroom in your quiche, so pretty thin slice would be the way to go. We'll finish those up in a minute, but let's go into the next step, how to prep the kale. This is curly kale versus the flat kale. I think you've worked with the flat kale before.
I have.
This is curlier. It's the same, still super nutritious, and I think a little bit easier to work with. So we're going to take the end of the stem and then just work down that until you take that woody stem out, throw it away, and then you want to bunch yours together. Once you have all of yours destemmed, you can do it all together to save some time. But just for demonstration purposes, you're going to clump them together with whatever you have. Thanks. And then thin slices of the kale. I pre-washed it, so once it's like this, it's ready to go onto some heat. Okay, so we have everything prepped. Let's get it on the heat. The pan is preheated on medium to high heat. So these cutting boards are great. You can just fold them and dump them in there to get all of your goodies in the pan. Perfect. Mushroom goodness. Give it a quick stir. We don't need to saute these very long, probably about 5 minutes. We don't want to cook them all the way, just soften them. I'm going to season the mushrooms first, and then we'll dump the kale right on top of it. So to taste, about a teaspoon of salt, maybe less, especially if you're salt sensitive. You can avoid it altogether because there is salt in the feta cheese if you are especially salt sensitive or just watching your sodium. So a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper, and give it another stir to the mushrooms. They're going to start to release some of their moisture, cook down, brown a little bit. Once you see them start to soften, then you'll want to add the kale on top of it. Happens pretty quickly. We want to give some good color and flavor. That happens with the high heat. The mushrooms will soften, brown a little bit, and that adds another layer of flavor to your quiche. So let's pop the kale in. There's a lot of water in the kale, so this will essentially steam and saute at the same time. Okay, Ashley, so we have it all steamed and ready to go. When I turned the heat off, I threw in a cup of frozen peas. I didn't want to cook them, just enough to get the frost off of them. They definitely are gentle and don't need a lot of cooking. So I've already greased this pie pan here. I'm going to put the ingredients right into it, and that will help cool it down a little bit. So when we add our cold eggs, it doesn't start cooking right away. Yep. So to get the eggs going, why don't we do that? We have 7 farm fresh eggs, and show them how you know how to do it. There we go. Good job. Great yolk color. So we'll do all 7. We'll mix it up lightly, and before we do that, before we add the eggs to the quiche, I'm just going to move this around, get some heat out of it, and also make sure that it's even so that every bite has some excellent, yummy ingredients. Our last step before we put the eggs in is to put the feta cheese on top. Feta cheese is a young cheese. It smells kind of pungent, but it also, where it has a lot of smell, it has a lot of flavor. So I encourage you to try it. It's really easy to just get a whole solid piece of feta. Go ahead and mix those up, and then just crumble it with your hands. And those look ready to go. So my little trick to quiche is to use my fingers and just make little indentations in the ingredients. That'll help get that egg down in there. Now my hands are a little bit cheesy. Would you do the honors?
Absolutely.
Just dump it right on top and then try to swirl it a little bit. Perfect. It's ready to go into the oven, 375 for 45 minutes. Just pop it in there. It should be a nice golden brown when it's finished.
Perfect. This looks like it's going to be a good dish. And thank you so much, Sarah, for coming on today and showing us this. And hopefully people at home can enjoy this Easter weekend.
Thank you.